he missed the first round. No, he didn't. He's actually in 8th in the championship. Not too far away from Scar and Cuckoo, who are 7th, equal on 44 points. And Petey now goes up in the pole.
I'm just having a few issues here, Woody. We'll just we'll try and get this sorted out. It looks like my stream does not want to start.
That's no good.
Here we go. We're kicking in now.
Not too far away from Scar and Cuckoo, who are 7th, equal on 44 points.
Beautiful. We are now live. Thank you very much. Sorry, guys, we had some issues getting the broadcast up and running this evening, but we are now live, watching with the qualifying with 13 minutes to go. Sorry about that, Neil. We've been sitting here chatting to each other while I've got this organised.
Yes, it's a big welcome, obviously, to round 2 of the Monday Night League for the former Inter, full Brazilian.
And we may just quickly shoot back to a couple of the screens, Neil, because obviously we've missed all that while I was merrily doing other things in the background. So we'll take a quick look at the track map again while the guys just quickly go through qualifying. So we are at Curitiba, which is 3.69 kilometres long or 2.26 miles. This is round 2 for the Formula Inter, and the date for this race is the 21st of May 2023. The track was officially opened in 1967, was remodelled to the current layout that we are racing this evening in 1995. Unfortunately, in 2022, this track was officially closed, so it's no longer available as a circuit. But that is fine, because we have eSIM Sports to enjoy the track. We can take our cars around here whenever we'd like. We'll take a quick look at the leaderboard after the 2 rounds from last week. So we can see that Brett S sits on the top of the leaderboard with 59 points, Petey with 56 and Dat Boy on 54, but it is a very tight group after that with Nords, Kids and the Bloody Nine sitting just off the back, and it's going to be a bit of a battle. There are points scheduled for race 1 and for race 2. So the guys can get another handful of points this evening, but if you have a bad run in one race, it can upset your points table drastically. And we'll also take a quick look at the target table. The target is made up of the fastest lap from each race combined together. So at the moment, the leading target is Brett S with Joshua Hill coming in 2nd and the Kiz in 3rd, all within less than a second of each other. So it is very, very tight, and that's the fastest 2 laps from the 2 races last week. So that will be compiled again after this evening's event. So let's go back to the live action on the screen. We've now got 10 minutes left to go in qualifying.
Yeah, currently watching McAtack in 17th position. Seeing if he can squeeze a little bit more out as he comes up to this long turn right-hander, the final corner, turn 11, before he gets onto the big feature part of this circuit, the big 1 kilometre long straight. And they did use this track back in the day, similar to a tri-oval type thing without the banking. And so you can almost call this as a roval course in a way, Tim.
Yes, well, the original track was just 3 corners. We can see the outside layout is still particularly there. So it was a corner on, or a curve on each end with the bow in the middle, and then a 1.1 kilometre long straight, which now makes up our start-finish line.
Yeah, you can see just as he's entering into turn 4 here, this track there wants to go straight ahead near the Fenatech signs, which would take him straight on through, back onto the part once we get through this intersection. And this corner here, Tim, I think this is going to be a bit of a opportunity where some of the cars are going to try and sneak their nose down the inside and maybe get a bit of a run here, but it's going to be dicey because I believe this corner, we'll listen here to see if it is flat out without any lifting, and it looks like he turns 9 and 10 is flat out. And here we rejoin back onto the part of the tri-oval, part of the circuit for the final run into turn 11.
And the most frustrating thing I found when doing some practice at this track earlier in the week, trying to find your braking markers. There's no real clear track markers or distance markers around this track. Coming through, as you said, into turn 7 and coming out of turn 8, finding that braking into turn 7, it's almost braking while you're still turning and getting the car to settle and the front of the car to bite and get that real grip to turn in through there is a big challenge. It is
sorry, go on.
It is a potential to stick the car down the inside, but it's very easy to outbrake yourself and overshoot that corner.
Yeah, we just saw obviously Truey 84 having a bit of a moment there in the car 25, I think it was. Returned straight back into the pits.
And it is great to see another full grid beside. And Neil, how many cars have we got in total? Is it 26?
25 at this stage. We're missing Smithy, who had a good little run in the wet, the opening round. Languishing back in 17th, but he had the second race, I believe, was his race that he performed a little bit better after he was getting used to the spray that we saw kicking up for the first round. But the bloody 9, who's currently 9 points off the lead of the championship, finds himself in 8th position in car number 8, and he's 0.8 of a second off Brett S's qualifying time. It's a 26.583, so that's a pretty fast time around here in the opening qualifying session.
That is an outstanding time around here. I think on the times table in the times shootout, most guys were sitting in a 127. There were a few in the 126s, but anything into a 126 will be an outstanding time around here. 25-minute race plus 1 lap. Tyre life should not be an issue, but I think setup is going to be a big part of getting a car around this track in a very good time.
Yeah, and as we sort of mentioned last week, Tim, there's not that much that the guys can actually change in these cars as far as setups. Oh, as the bloody 9 gets it all wrong through turns 1 and 2 and straight back into pit lane. Basically, they've got the in-car that they can change their brake bias and fuel mixture only. But then the setup-wise, it's just the rear aero that they can adjust. So I'm assuming most of these cars will be minimum aero. The fuel tank is a maximum of 35 litres, which won't be an issue for this 25-minute race. They can change the rear springs only, so there's no adjustments to the front springs. And also the slow bump and rebound is the only thing that they can change at the rear, I think it is. They may be able to change it at the front as well. I'm not 100% sure there. And the anti-roll bars they can change front and rear. So really there's not much they can change. The gear ratios, there's no final drive adjustment. They can change the individual drive gears, but basically all that does is takes away a gear. I think there are 5-speed gearbox, and it just basically takes away a gear, because if you change the ratio to equals the same ratio as the gear below it.
And you want all 5 gears coming down this straight, Neil. You're very close to the limiter, and with a little bit of aero coming down here following another car, you won't want to be certainly taking anything out of the top gear at this track. But I think there will be some little plays with the front end trying to maximise the amount of mechanical grip they can get to turn in, especially through into turn 7. It is a key to try and maintain momentums through 1s, 2 and 3, which is the little left to right at the end of the start-finish straight. Turn 4 wasn't too bad. It's fairly clear coming into there, getting braking and maintaining pace. The corner opens up for you, so you can get a good drive coming out of there. The keys will be into turn 1, into turn 7, and I think there's also an advantage for anyone who gets it right coming into turn 11 back onto the start-finish line.
Yeah, with just under 4 minutes remaining, anyone watching, let's start putting in the predictions of who you think may get pole. Will Scar top it, Brett? Or we're going to find that little bit of early pace that he had and put it back onto pole position. Not too much separating those guys as we're watching Viperon.
And if this is your first time watching these guys, these are custom liveries. The guys have put a lot of effort into getting the designs for these cars to match the theme of this series, which is the full Brazilian. Max Power, we must mention, went all the way. He not only took himself down to the beauty parlour for a full Brazilian, but also had his dog done. Now the dog's more than likely going to be a little bit irritated, a little bit of stubble and itch coming on now after a week of shave. These guys will hopefully be using a little bit of lotion to try and get comfortable in the car.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw Petey actually on pole at one stage during this 20-minute session, so he's about half a second away, and he looks like he's warming up for a hot lap, probably the next one around.
Just looking at that, but the difference between Eski, Petey and Kiku is 1.5 tenths, or just over 1/10.
Yeah, nothing there in it at all. We'll stay on Petey and see what he can do on this lap around. On this next lap, I should say, as this seems to be his out lap.
And coming down to the start finish line now, we see whether the timing table has an improvement for him, and no, that was his out lap.
And we got Todd being a little bit cheeky, going for himself. Get off the stream, mates, and stop barracking for yourself, my friend. Currently in 8th position, sitting in pit lane, has got nothing else better to do than typing away. Good to have you anyway on the stream, Norbs. But make sure you eyes forward for the race, my friend. So here we go, up into turn 4. You can see how it just bites. This is one of those corners that we were talking even about last week, how some of the corners just seem to tighten up on exit. I think turn 4 is one of those. It's just deceptive. You can see how Petey got caught out there. There's no one sort of been challenging Brett at this stage. And it doesn't look like Petey's going to get any time out of this lap. He's a second off his best time, so he'll get one more. No, he's coming into the pit lane, or he's just trying to find some space. So we'll come back to him. We'll pick up Gunner. He obviously missed the first round, and he's in a very Brazilian livery type car. He's about to go through into at the finish of sector 1 into sector 2. We'll see what the timing gives us. 0.2 seconds behind his best. Actually, he's just gone through into sector 3, sorry. So the final sector, what's he got for us, Tim? Is he going to find that 2.2 of a second that he's required to get on pole? I think he's going to find it hard, as we know that sector 3 is almost flat out all the way, other than controlling that final corner, and he hasn't done anything to improve his time. Have a look at the alien of Travis Moan's helmet.
It's a fantastic livery, isn't it? The whole thing fitted out with the alien design.
Oh, it's beat 'em up Scotty's type style, that's for sure. Plenty of satellites and rocket ships being launched around our stratosphere at the moment. So, and we had a big meteorite, I believe, come crashing into some place in Queensland over the weekend too. There's some footage around on the socials. Talking of a sonic boom as it came down through the atmosphere, Tim. That would have been something to behold. as a run to the flag for the final time, and we'll soon see where everyone is going to finish. And, quickly there, we got
Quick reset.
Brett on pole position. As we said, no one challenged him there at the end, so it was a good run from him to take pole over Scar 666. Then Gunnar Cuckoo, the man in fourth position in the Brazilian Beans coffee machine. And Travis Moan, the alien, as we said, in position 5. So keep an eye on that for some supernatural forces. And Petey. And then we've got Esky Man in 7th position, Norbs, throwing away his phone to his pit crew as he's getting his final preparations together in position 8. Brad Luck in 9th, the Bloody 9 in 10th, Rhetorical Gambit in 11th, That Boy 12th, No Frills in 13th, Kiz, if we go maybe on the chase, we can see Kiz in 14th, Mac Attack in 15th, G-Dude in the all-yellow car in 16th, 17th for Christopher, Mark in 18th, Viperon in 19th, Bales in 20th, John Wade in 21st. Welcome to John. I think that's his first welcome into the Monday Night League as well. Stu in 22nd, Truey in 23rd, Jay Walker in 24th. Pixel Boy just doesn't seem to be coming to one with his car at the moment in 25th. And Max Power in 26th position.
And just an interesting point for these cars, anyone who's not driven them may not be aware, but they are a clutch-driven car with a manual gear shift.
So we're about to hit the go.
Off and racing, Neil. Green, green, green. Let's go racing. Monday night with Gravel Trap Legends. The guys are now 5 wide coming down the start-finish line. It's a flat-out sprint down to turn 1. Who's going to come out on top, Neil?
Well, it looks like Gunner's going to do it here at the moment. He's all the way through. As I pick up the wrong person here, I think Gunner's just on the outside, but Brett's still fighting back here on the inside of turn 4. He should have the run in. As Gunner's going to find himself on the outside as they all come through here. And look at Travis Moan in that alien car, fighting in 3rd position. What a great start from all the cars right through the field. Credit to everyone.
Finding out this is the next interesting corner, trying to find this braking point. I'd expect that there's a risk of someone out braking themselves. They don't want to be on the inside when they do that, because they will take anyone on the outside of them, but they've all managed to pass through there cleanly. Kudos to everyone on track at this stage. Fantastic driving to keep themselves on the black stuff. We're now riding with Norbs. His pit crew's madly texting away in the chat. And it is a flat-out sprint. It's down to 4th gear through here. We saw someone on the field. And a little tail wag there. Oh, Norbs is in the wall.
So there was a little bit of a tangle there, and they're all filtering through. This should be called a full course yellow, which they do their verbal call.
That is a verbal safety car.
I'll just bring up the standings now. I had it off so we can catch all the action of that opening lap. But at this stage, it sounds like they're still on full noise, Tim. So maybe Norbs decided not to call that yellow.
Gunner has a clear run now. He's got a half a second lead over Brett S. And Travis Moan rounding out the top 3. It's a very tightly contested battle between Cuckoo, Esky and Scar at the moment, trying to find who is going to keep up with this pack, but they're starting to break away from the rest of the field, Neil. We can see 7th, 8th and 9th and 10th all having a battle back there, but they've now got a good margin. What are we looking at? Nearly 3-second margin for this front field.
Yes, Mark had a little off as well, so he's joining Norbs at the back of the pack there at the moment. But back up front as we got Gunner coming around the final corner. to start lap 3, and he's got a challenge of Brett right behind him. To top gear. And as he said, it's a big hard braking into turns 1 and 2, Tim. Probably the hardest braking on the circuit, but it's bumpy. You can see these curbs, they're bumpy as they're coming around over through this section.
And the track cuts are vicious on this track. You can use a tyre on the ripple strip. If you get wide of that ripple strip, it's basically a track strike. And we're expecting that maybe 1 or 2 drivers could be pushing their luck before the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely, as we've got so much colour here on the circuit, and it's getting a little bit tight. Coming through turn 4 is a big moment from Rhetorical Gambit. He's dropped a couple of positions now as they all benefit from that moment. And that's all it takes, Tim, with these cars with such a high speed, flowing corners, mixing up with some tight corners. When you have a little bit of a moment through either turns 4 or turn 11, you're going to lose a lot of places. Even through here, turns 9 and 10, as we've seen, he's flat out. As look at these guys coming from the mid-pack.
The front 5, 6 cars have all made a break on this, but there is quite a heavily contested pack here. There's a good 7 or 8 cars running it nose to tail at the moment, all fighting out for the crown.
And at the moment, is Brett going to be late on the brakes? Yes, he is. So he's going to take that position from Gunner, but Gunner's under pressure now from Travis Simone, the alien, in car 12.
And these cars are quite twitchy under brakes. They don't like to turn in, and you come off the brakes too quickly, the car does pop up, and the nose doesn't want to dig in. It's quite a handful driving these cars, knowing that you basically have to almost heel to toe, flip through your gears, keep an even pressure on your brakes. Don't come on the brakes or don't come off the brakes too quickly, because it'll lift the front of the car up and you'll lose your mechanical grip. These guys, I'd love to see a pedal cam. If you do, jump on with John Slow. Is John with us this evening?
No, he's not.
So if we had John Slow this evening, he would be streaming live, he would have his pedal cam going. The guys would be doing a lot of footwork in keeping these cars on the track.
Yeah, so tell us, Tim, what do you reckon this is? Nescafe Blend 43, is Cuckoo running a bit wide, or is it the old International Roast on Cuckoo's pit crew coffee of choice?
No, that's a independent, freshly ground cup there, mate. That is quality stuff. Some of the best.
Some of the best. So we've got to move down the inside here with Esky Man picking up a position almost on Cuckoo, but Cuckoo held strong and stayed in that 5th position. So nice drive in there.
And again, what I was talking about last lap, just that braking zone there, being able to come off the brakes and get the car to turn in and maintain your pace through that corner. Super critical in these cars. Credit to all these guys. It's not for me. I'm not able to do it. I'll put my hand up and say I am shocking in one of these cars.
And look at the flavour we've got here of all a la Carnival. We've got Rhetorical Gambit and Dat Boy really putting the colour on the grid here. And as we've got a little bit of a hello and welcome from, I think it was John Wade, into the back of Keys, I think it may have been. You don't want to get too much aero damage on these little cars either, as it will slow the cars down. And you'll be a sitting duck down the main straight here.
You also need that front end downforce to maintain that mechanical grip to get the maximum amount of power or maximum amount of speed through those corners. And any front end damage is definitely going to make these cars an extra amount of handful. We're running on board with Bales McKenzie at the moment. He's running down Stu and does it for the slickstream easily.
Yeah, does it really good as well. But Stu's sort of fighting back here, but he thinks he's given it up. You don't want to be hopping those curbs, as you said earlier, Tim, as it really will upset these cars, the flow of the car. As we've got a car off wide, I think it might be Dat Boy. We were talking about him earlier, bringing the carnival spirit onto the grid. And he has dropped all the way. I think he was around about 12th position, 12th or 13th, all the way down to 20th.
Yes, he was in that pack fighting from 12th through to 8th.
So safety car has been called, so there must have been a multiple car incident because we are slowing down, Tim, so we'll get a little bit of a breather here.
And we do have one car on the back of that pack. Is that Norbs right at the back that is now a lap down? We've actually...
Looks that way. Yes, it is.
Yes, we've got... So looking at your track map, we've got the red dots are the cars on the same lap. And then obviously Norbs, a little bit of a moment coming through turn 11, ended up on the infield and has put him at the back of the pack. But now with the virtual safety car, we've still got 3 cars hanging off the back.
Yeah, just to clarify that, the red dots mean obviously the cars, because we're watching Norbs, the red dots are the cars in front of you by a lap. The red and white dots, as you can see now that I go to Travis Moan, the leader of the race, are all the cars on the same lap as you. And we will pick up that blue and black dot of Norbs coming around the exit of turns 11 now onto the front straight, means that they're a lap down. So when you're a lap down, all the cars in front of you are a solid red dot, and if you've got the white and red dot cars, they're cars that are on the same lap as what you are.
And for anyone who's joined the stream for the first time this evening, good evening, welcome, thank you for dropping in and saying good day. You're with the Gravel Trap Legends Monday Night Pro League. This is the Formula Inter Series at Brazil. This is round 2 at Curitiba.
Yeah, it's a great little circuit, definitely, this Curitiba. And no frills. See what he can do. He had a little bit of a up and down round, actually, from memory in round 1. I think he was fighting up in the top half of the lead pack and dropped it a couple of times in the wet. I remember picking up the camouflage car out on the grass when he was doing fairly well. So obviously in position 7 for race 1 here tonight, and looking to see if he can claim a few more positions before this race is over. We should be resuming this lap around, Tim.
Just taking a quick look to see, No Frills currently sitting on 37 points, equal with Esky Man, and just behind Brad Luck. But we also got Mac Attack, Rainey, and Trav all sitting on 36 points, so a very close cluster there in the points table.
So here we go, we'll pick up the leaders here as we're going to hit the start straight, and it's race on with 13 minutes remaining plus the 1 extra lap. And we got Travis Moan just behind Brett. And see if he ducks out here, try to make a move. No, he's going to hold station with Gunner just behind in 3rd position. Nice clean restart to start things off.
The guys will get a little bit of advantage of a slipstream down here.
Got a big moment again with out the back here.
Norbs clearing air. I'm not too sure who else. And is that Dat Boy?
That's Dat Boy, who's had a moment out of turn 3.
And looking at that front wing, maybe Scar might have had a little bit of moment in that. So
I think Scar's up further up the field here in position 4. He might have been missing that action, but never know, but big moment, obviously, for Dat Boy again. He's found the grass in the safety car. So as they say, safety cars can breed safety cars.
And actually, the shock for me is a safety car. The temperature does come out of these tyres very, very quickly. So a full lap under safety car, the tyre temps would drop down. They would be quite slick. And this track, while it was slightly abrasive, it did take a couple of laps before you started to feel like you had full grip in these cars. So again, it could be a little factor coming in that they were maybe pushing the cars a little bit too much in the early sector of that lap before the cars come up to full temperature.
Yeah, just apologise for the in-car audio as well. It comes in and out. It's just a thing with the game with these Formula Inters. And hopefully Reza will get on top of that. As Gunners thought for a moment there he was going to have a look down the inside of Travis Moan as they all come in filtering through turns 1, 2 and 3. And we're just looking at No Frills.
He sticks the move up the inside.
Yeah, just holding off Esky Man. So he's gone up from position 7 to 6 as he's just found the outside there of turn 4. We mentioned that at the top of the race, how that corner seems to tighten up and just catches a few of the drivers out, dropping a wheel, but he's defending back here on the inside.
Yes, the advantage of the inside line there is quite a tricky corner. Would not want to be on the outside. A little bit of loose gravel out there and hard to get the power down with the extra turning you have to do running wide.
And they've just answered my question I was about to ask you, Tim. Can we go too wide through turns 9 and 10? And yes, we can, with Esky Man and No Frills proving that the flat-out corner through turns 9 and 10, that's quite possible.
Yeah, plenty of grip through there. The challenge would be coming back into turn 11.
Cuckoo's having a good look down the inside of Scard now. Will he make it stick into turn 1?
That looks like he's got the job done. He took the advantage, but he's got to maintain it. They're going too wide now through this. Scar's just picked up that yellow ripple strip. Washed a little bit of pace off that car.
And look what we got here. We got almost 3 wide as No Frills is looking to leapfrog up into position 5 if he can get Esky Man. That was lucky from Esky. He almost lost a couple of positions trying to defend that position from Cuckoo through his turns 2 and 3.
Scar going very wide there. Lucky to hang on to his position. He could have almost had Christopher up the inside. But
so many look at Esky Man losing it.
That is a big moment.
Out onto the grass. Rejoins.
As we were talking earlier today, that grass is like ice. Super, super slippery, as it would be in real life. You certainly want to keep it on the black stuff.
I was just going to mention about that. It was one thing that we did. I did a little comment there in the Gravel Trap Legends Discord chat. Anyone, look at this 3 ride out of turn 11. And it's a big battle here with No Frills trying to get past Christopher, who's jumped up into position 5. He's come from nowhere. On the outside, though, he's going to find it hard maybe to hold on to this position. No, he's been able to tuck in and hold on to that 5th position as the rest of the pack scramble. Just trying to find a line through turns 2 and 3 is giving me heart palpitations here.
And Scar's the one to lose out there, now dropping back to 8th position.
Not to be outdone, the further down the mid-pack we go, the more action keeps coming as we go 3 wide into turn 4. Thank you very much.
And rightfully the guys just back out of it a little bit, but we can see still outside line is not the preferred path through turn 4. You really want to be able to tuck it in tight. Datboy now battling on. He'll have the preferred line in here. It is John Wade hanging around the outside. And who have we got sneaking up the inside there, Neil? I can't quite make that out.
I think it might be Rhetorical Gambler's in front of him. It might be Jay Ward, maybe Jay Petey, is it?
Jay Ward's in the blue car. And
Yeah, it's Petey, this one.
Petey in the 86. So
Talking about people wanting to get involved, these guys here just behind them are still thinking, well, we're in a shot here to get into the top 15.
And it's all about grabbing the points. And they're all now taking advantage of the slipstream, coming down the start-finish line. It is 1.1 kilometres long. A good chance to punch in behind these cars and take advantage of all the draft you can get.
Yeah, it's basically try and tuck in behind as cars are going well and truly off the track. I think it was Jay Wade there skipping through the corners. Probably will get a track cut limit penalty, though. Well, not a penalty, but just a warning. Let's just go around here. It looks like a safety car has been called against him. So while we settle down here quickly, I was just going to mention about that grass. Now, yes, everyone talks about the grass being super slippery in AMS2 and probably warranted in some instances, but I definitely made me come to realise after seeing Shane Van Gisbergen on the weekend how he left the circuit at Simmons Plains. Yes, he was going at pace, but the car just never slowed down once he hit the grass, and he had no control, no steering input to even try and correct that car, and he was just a passenger. And I think we've all been part of that on AMS2, where you go off the grass at pace sometimes on slick tyres and you think, why can't I control this car? We're just sliding and waiting to stop. So, and it also brought back a thing I remember hearing about the older Formula One drivers talking about the new circuits versus the old circuits, where all the old circuits were like this, where they had a lot of grass areas off the track, whereas the new circuits these days have a lot more runoff areas, sealed runoff areas.
And gravel traps.
Yeah, and the younger drivers now can really push and say, well, can we get through this corner in 5th gear instead of 4th? Or can we just come in a bit harder, because knowing that if they run off the track, there's usually a lot more asphalt runoff area for them to get control of the car, whereas back in the day with the F1 cars, they'd get that grass and it was basically who had the bigger kahunas, and in the practice sessions to see if they can go any faster.
And we are back racing live again now. The guys pushing it too wide through turns 1, 2 and 3. You can see all trying to shuffle for position there, coming hard into the braking zone. The guys now have this little run. It's around about 600 metres, little run down the straight here, and it's got a chance to try and get up the inside. As we see Brad Luck now having a little bit of luck on his side as he fights for the 12th position at the moment.
I tell you what, you'd have to go home pretty happy if you just get into the top 10, Tim.
Well, there's 25 cars on track this evening, and it's going to be a fight from 1st place right through to 25th place.
Yeah, just maybe you can only see the 25. There is a 26 G dude, a number of laps down as well, so he's had a really hard opening race here at Curitiba. There's Petey's down the inside, and Rhetorical
takes it. Oh, Rhetorical Gambit
again, so he's had a rotten luck in the Carnival car. I think he's been on the outside of the circuit on the grass more at times than on it. And there will be no safety cars with the last 5 minutes already in place. So this is race on still. So sit back and enjoy the last 3 minutes plus that one extra lap. And I'm sure we're going to enjoy this run to the flag, as really the place for the miners is well and truly on, let alone for the lead.
And it is Travis Moan sitting on the back of Dat Boy at the moment. On the back of Brett S. And they're having a very heated battle at the front.
Yeah, they sure are. Imagine Brett having a look in his rear view mirrors and seeing that alien helmet of Travis Moan.
And Gunner's got a good run here at the moment. He's going to get the draft behind the alien. And that's going to manage to hold him right up on the back of these two cars. And he'll be able to sit in prime position coming onto the start-finish line. just
he is.
doing a commanding drive at the front, holding these guys off. He's just putting the car where it needs to be, keeping it in the grip. And even with the draft, he's managing to maintain his lead. But then we see Cuckoo make the move on Gunner through advantage of a better drive out of turn 11 and the draft down the straight. But can he hold on to it coming through? And he's going to make it stick. And he moves right up into set third position.
Yeah, nice move by Cuckoo. And I was just going to see how they went with that better run that he had out of turn 4. If he'd be able to make that position before the start-finish line, but he still was actually just behind. So the run to the flag on the last lap, turn 11, the driver will have to have a very good run, but he may only just pull up alongside by the time they cross the start-finish line. So we'll just see how that runs, how that happens.
And Gunner and Cuckoo swapping positions again. So
Cuckoo just loses touch there.
A little bit of a moment, I think. Cuckoo must have just lost the rears, allowed Gunner to slide back through again. Now jumping aboard No Frills.
He's actually on his fastest race lap at the moment. So if he gets a good exit and a good tow here, you'll see No Frills pop up as his fastest actual race lap.
25 seconds to go. So they have crossed the line, so it will be this lap plus one more. So we've still got 2 laps to go. And the guy's battling it out. But see, Brett S just has that pace down the start-finish line. Even with the tow, Travis Moan cannot get the advantage to get past.
No, he can't, as they all come in now 3 wide into... Oh, there's a big moment there into the... I think it was Mark 860. No, it wasn't. It was one of... Oh, yes, it was. It was Mark 860 that got his braking marking all wrong. But they're all still filtering through. As someone else is Travis, I think it's Travis. So the alien has had a big moment here and he's struggling to move.
I'm wondering whether looking at that...
I think he may have lost a wheel or something, but we can see all wheels on that car.
Oh no, he's just waiting for the traffic to pass through.
So that frees up Brett at this stage with Gunner in second position, Cuckoo. So it's all spread out now for the lead of this race, but for 4th position, look at this, we've got about 5 cars, 4 or 5 cars, 5 cars actually all vying for the 4th position. As we come around for one more lap, Tim, who's your bet here for position 4? You've got either Christopher, Esquivan, No Frills, Scar, or Kiz, who's having a look down the inside of Scar.
Well, we've seen all these drivers battle it out over the last few series. Grab the popcorn, guys. This is going to be an incredible lap as these guys take it on. As we can see, line through turns 1, 2 and 3. There is another draft section coming down through into this little short straight here. Anyone close enough may be able to make a jump up. No Frills might get the little jump up the inside here. No, just tries to duck back inside. But I think it's Christopher that's tried to make the move up, but has had to back out of it again. Brave move now, trying to pick your braking marker if you want to try and make a dive down into turn 7. Almost hit on the brakes there, trying to get the nose of the car to turn in. We saw one car shoot wide out the back there.
There was Scar, now he's under threat with Kiz, but it looks like Esky Man may be able to hold on to 4th position. And Christopher's trying to hold off No Frills for 5th position.
No Frills is looking to get the maximum amount of traction through here. He wants to get as close as possible, but he can't quite maintain that margin. I don't think he's going to be close enough to grab the line. As we come down, Brett S takes out race 1. The Gunner comes across in 2nd. Cuckoo in 3rd. Esky Man in 4th. Christian Razor holds on to 5th position. No Frills, Scar, Kiz, Bradluck, Petey, Datboy, Wade, Walker, Mark 860, Viperion and Pixel Boy round out our 16. Can you count us with the rest of the ones there, Neil?
Yeah, well, just there, we just found, we just got to that line there. Pixel Boy just took Mac Attack at the line. So Mac Attack in 17th position. Travis Moan in 18th. Rhetorical Gambit in a race he'd like to forget in 19th. Stu in 20th. The bloody 9, he was up in the front at the start of the race, all the way back down in 21st. Max Power, 22nd. Bales into pit lane. Norbs, not a good race either, as did G-Dude. So what an entertaining race that was. That had plenty on, but Norbs all the way from position 8 down into 24th. Just trying to have a look to see who maybe might have been the big mover. Christopher moved from 17th into 5th position. So that was a massive gain in positions, Tim, from 17th to 5th. And without seeing the rest of it here at the moment, I think...
So there we can see now, that's our finishing line. Guys, the guys are going to have to drop out and change lobbies. We'll just quickly run through this. Brett S to Gunner, Cuckoo to Esky, Christopher Azer, No Frill Scar, Kiz Bradluck, PD Datboy, John Wade, John Walker, Mark 860, Pixel Boy, Mac Attack, Travis Moan, Gambit Stew, The Bloody 9, Max Power, Bales McKenzie, Nords, G-Dude, and True rounds out our top 26 drivers. We're going to shoot off and hear from some of our sponsors, Neil, and we'll be back for race 2 in around about 5 minutes' time. So guys, one of our promos this evening helping me out, I broadcast with Sim House on Wednesday nights. And this week is Champions League. We've broadcast live from Entertainment Park. This is round 2. We're off to Texas Speedway with the NASCARs, live from 8 p.m. on Wednesday nights. So check it out. Find us on YouTube, Sim House. And if you guys want the full experience, the full V2 motion experience in a sim rig, these guys can fix you up. Located at 361 Milpara Road, Bankstown in Sydney. Give Shane a call. Phone 0416 147 965. He can hook you up with the best motion experience in Sydney. And if you want to jump onto their league, these guys run with R Factor 2. They run the Champions League, the V8 Supercars League, the British Touring Cars League, and they also run a Formula 1 League on and off, as well as special events throughout the year. Jump on the Facebook, get down there, do yourself a favour, do an adrenaline experience in a V2 full motion sim rig. You will never regret it. Put it on your bucket list. Have a chat to Shane. He will definitely hook you up. Guys, we'll be back very, very shortly once this new lobby is up and running. So enjoy some footage from round 1. Alright guys, we are just getting ourselves organised into the lobby. We do apologise for any graphic issues we currently have. The hamster is doing the best he can. Obviously, after a quick diagnostic, this is what my hamster is currently doing. So my graphics card is not in the good books at this stage. We'll be doing an update to that very, very shortly to try and fix any graphic issues that we do have. But thank you guys for watching the stream this evening. We thank you all for persevering with that. We've managed to fix our audio issues this evening as well. A little bit of a education last week. So we're just waiting for the guys to get the lobby up and running. We'll take a quick look back at one of our sponsors before we go back to the event. So Neil, the cars are on track as we get ourselves organised into this lobby. Can you run us through the starting order?
Yeah, I'll do my best for the top 10 anyway, because I didn't get the screenshot, unfortunately, right through the field. But because we've got a reverse grid from the race one from position 10, or 1 to 10. So position 10 was Petey, so he'll have pole for this race. So they'll be going out on a formation lap for a rolling start. So Petey will find himself on pole for finishing 10th in the first race. Brad Luck will be in second position. And then we'll have Kiz in third position. Alongside him then will be Scar, as we've seen him amongst it early on. So keep an eye on for Scar 666, as he qualified second in that first race and dropped all the way to 7th. So he was the big loser in that first race. No Frills will then be in 5th position. And we'll then see Christopher Razor, who had a really good race, as we said, from position 17 all the way up into position 5. So he'll be position 6. Esky Man will be in position 7. We'll just have a look at him in the pink car. Cuckoo will be in position 8. And I'm sure we'll see the Coffee Beans car trying to get through the field. And Gunner will be in 9th position. And Brett will be all the way in 10th position. So we're going to see, obviously, a little bit of action as the faster cars are going to try and get through the field early on. But patience will probably be the virtue here, Tim.
Yeah, so this is a custom formation lap, so the guys will all move off the grid so no one gets disqualified, and they will now shuffle their way through into the starting order for the reverse grid for the top 10 cars as of the results from race 1. And they will have a do they pull up to a standing start, Neil? Is that what they did last week?
No, it's actually a rolling start. I believe it might be a single file restart as well. They may go 2 by 2. It's a rolling start.
Yeah,
just a reverse grid for positions 1 to 10, and then from 11 it'll be as how it finished. So Dat Boy did finish in 11th, So he should find himself actually in 11th position for the start of this race.
For the guys watching the stream, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you're enjoying it. Jump in the chat and say good day. Who is your favourite pick for this evening's race? Who do you think will take out race 2?
And it's a big welcome. Finally, we see Smithy in the 666 Sepultura car, the car that obviously Scar 666 is running as well. So he's made the grid for race 2, as has Chewy 84. G-Dude will hopefully to see if he can do a better race than what he did in that first race when he fell, I think it was around about 3 laps behind Norbs. We saw him go off and have a moment, which then cost him a good position.
Yes, there will be a few guys towards the back of this pack that will be hoping for a better outcome here in race 2. They would really want to consolidate a few points to get onto the points table.
That's what really championships are all about, aren't they, Tim? Is pick up what you can.
Absolutely. Woodsy's jumped in and gone Stu for the win. Good on you, Woodsy. Thanks, mate.
That's a good way to get the brownie points from the boss. But here we go. I'm looking at no frills, I think, for this one. But here we go. Early start from Petey. He's got everyone napping and just gunned it out of turn 11. As they're all still trying to sort themselves out. But here they come down the big 1 kilometre straight into turn 1 where they have to put on the brakes and just hope these cars pull up. As they all look like they're going to get through here turn 1 nicely. They're all filtering through, which is great to see.
And again, a very clean start from these guys. Let's hope that's not commentator's curse. But Petey doing a great job holding on to the lead point here with Brad Luck close behind. They've got a little bit of margin here, but we expect these faster guys will be able to round that up in the next 20 odd minutes.
Yeah, it looks like Petey was just a little bit loose as he was going through turn 4 there, and Brad Luck was really eyeing him up. We'll see as there's one car actually off on the gravel trap, and I think it might be no frills. So there we go. He is stalled out and trying to get his car going. I believe that's the car that maybe I predicted to maybe do well. So the commentator's curse has hit hard early on.
Well, Rangi's jumped into the chat and he's put his money on Gambit. You see Gambit for a good handful of points in this race.
Well, we hope so. We did see that Carnival car in a whole lot of hurt in race 1. He was on the grass a lot, so we'll hopefully to see Rhetorical Gambit do a better job here in race 2, as Petey still holding off Brad Luck there into turn 1. And here comes Cuckoo.
And we expect Dat Boy and Gunner to be at it as they have in previous series. They just seem to be magnets for each other every time you stick them in a car.
Just remember, these guys it is a reverse grid for the top 10, so Gunner did come second in that first race. Brett's still in 10th position where he started, but he won the opening race here at Curitiba. As Gunner goes in hard into turn 11.
Well, Rangi's brought a little bit of luck on for Gambit. He's jumped up a couple of spots into 14th.
Yeah, nice work from the Carnival car as he is trying to put some pressure here on Viperon nice and early as they try and get under the skin of some of these drivers. Oh, as he's just got the rear just stepping out as he's coming down into turn 11 and onto this big 1 kilometre straight. As we can see down here, I think I just picked up the wrong person, sorry. But there was cars coming out to put a challenge on, and it's Scar down the inside.
That was a good shot to show just how bumpy that front straight is. The car's dipping up and down on the bumps and rises of the track.
So Gunner's been the best of the faster drivers coming through, but he's under pressure here from Esky Man. He's going to have the run into top into turn 4. But Gunner thinks that he's going to battle here. He wants to try and duck down and don't be a sitting duck, because we've got Dat Boy keen to make up some places behind him.
Out wide through turn 7 is not where you want to be. He's going to drop a little bit of time there, and we're potentially Dat Boy going to sneak up the inside. No, he tucks back in behind Gunner. So fast slowing sections through turns 9 and 10.
We'll just pick up on the leader here of Petey in the car 86.
But look at that pack behind him. They are nose to tail.
Yeah, as Kiz just pokes his nose out in the same livery as Petey, so they could have a 1-2 here.
Looks like he's got the job done. And it looks like Mr. Razor is also in that mix. That Scar pulls up into the back now. He's up into 4th position.
Yeah, Christopher Razor as well, just been crowned the 1995 IndyCar Series winner at ANZ CRL, so he's on a high. Came second at the Indy 500 last night as well. 200 laps around the Brickyard. Just missing out by 1.2 seconds from the winner to take the victory from VGA Philly.
Does the move around the outside? It is difficult to get the traction down around out there. As we can see, turn 7's drive out of turn 8 is really compromised if you get wide. We see a good gather of cars here led by Gunner and John Wade, the 2 blue cars you can see there.
Yeah, Brent S actually has got himself on. There's a caution period as well.
That's a safety car being called, looking at the pace of these cars.
So that's going to bunch the field up. But as we were saying, Brent S was actually in 10th position only a lap or so ago, with Gunner up in around about the 7th, 6th position, and Gunner's dropped down into 11th. So they've sort of swapped positions. So the winner of race 1 here tonight now finds himself in 7th position. And what a time for the safety car to come out. This is going to get Brett to reset here and close this gap on the leaders.
But it just makes White so exciting watching these cars. There is so little separating them. One small error of judgment, one slight step out of the rear, and 2 or 3 positions gone the blink of an eye. It's all about track position. It's all about maximising the amount of grip, taking advantage of the slipstreams. These things are very exciting to drive, but just as exciting to watch, Neil.
Yeah, they sure are. So Smithy started near the back of the grid, now up into 20th, so he's had a good opening part of this race. He's got Dat Boy who will keep him honest on this restart, that's for sure. So he's going to have to take it easy and place his car in the right position, as he'll obviously want to try and get past Truey if he can, but he doesn't want to leave himself open, as Dat Boy will take any opening and he won't need a second invite.
Yes, there's some very skilled drivers at the back of this pack that are going to make the life very, very difficult for anyone who is napping.
The bloody Nine's done a good job as well. He dropped right down the back of the grid for at the end of race 1, so he's found himself back up into the top 15 in position 14. So that was a good opening stanza for the bloody Nine.
And still 14 minutes to go in this race. There's plenty of time for these guys to make up another handful of positions. It is still not over by a long throw.
No, it's not, but how good is single make racing, Tim? It just really evens the field up. And when you've got these sort of cars with not much adjustment on hand as well, it just adds a whole lot of spice to the racing.
And guys, let's put it out there. What is your favourite livery for these cars? I do like the Eager Beaver, but I'm a little partial to yellow. It's one of my particular colours. But also the Dat Boy Carnival livery is pretty eye-catching as well. Well, that's the Macacan. Yep, and the guys are racing again now. And Petey hasn't got the advantage that he got out of the start of the race. And now these guys are going to gang up onto the back of him with Scar and Bradluck separating him either side. And it's going to be a race down into the braking zone. And I think Brad looks at that Scar.
As they all try to get through his one car's
three wide through there.
I think it was the I've just almost picked it up, but it's one of the cars that went straight off. I think it might have been Travis Moan, I'm not too sure.
That
this
was
could
brave
be another
work.
yellow.
3 wide coming through these corners, and it's not predicted to be healthy for these cars. Very, very challenging in the aero wash to try and hold that front traction down. Guys doing outstandingly well to maintain these cars and not come into contact with each other. Hats off to the lot of them.
Yeah, definitely. As we ride in on board Brad Luck, which is probably one of my favourite liveries of the season. And currently in 4th position, seeing if he can get a good tow here with the Esky Man, who's challenging for 2nd position to Kiz. Nothing separating these 3 cars, let alone the cars behind Brad, which is Brad S.
All right, we've got a new person in chat. Master Loser says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Master. Welcome to the race. This is Gravel Trap Legends. Hope you're enjoying it. If you're running with one of these drivers or you have a favourite driver, let us know. Tell us who you're barracking for as we keep you up to date with all of the action. At the moment, sitting down with the Bloody 9, marking down to Mark 860 and then back into Mac Attack. Oh, that is a very big impact. Mac Attack, the loser out there, coming into contact with
Norbs, I believe
Norbs, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so Norbs has been in the thick of things at Curitiba. He hasn't had much luck right through the 2 races, but it looks like the safety car has been called for that instant, Tim. So the drivers...
a little quick chat from in-car to, can we see whether that is steering wheel down or not? Has he got any steering damage, Neil?
Who are we talking about? Sorry, Norb?
Norbs. Does that look like the steering wheel's tracking? Looks like slight, hard to say. It might be okay. Not favoured to try and go wheel to wheel contact in these cars. I think he's managed to get away with it.
Yeah, I think he has. If it's any little bit down, it should be fine. But I tell you what, he's probably hoping his fortunes can change in the last 10 minutes of this race, but he's got a very angry pack in front of him. Dat Boy doing good, but he's got a Rhetorical Gambit just in front of him. How about this? You've got your favourite car of G, dude, in the Eager Beaver, and right behind them you've got all Carnival. I think Rhetorical Gambit just gave the Eager Beaver a little bit of a bump then.
There's a little bit of an Eager Beaver during the Carnival Royale parade there.
And does anyone like the old Lucky Strike Brawn type car of Pixel Boy?
Well, I've got to say, I gave up smoking some years ago, but I was never a Lucky Strike man.
Yes. It's not a healthy habit at all. Never been a smoker my life. And never will be. So here we go. So look at the cars all strewn out here.
And again, trying to squeeze into turn 1, 3 cars wide. That's certainly not advised. Those yellow big sausage strips in there throw the cars around, as we can see them all finding difficult getting up onto the curbs, and there will be some curb strikes from that turn out through there.
As Jay Walker's doing a good job there in position 13, lucky 13. So as the eager beaver of G-Dude trying to hold the inside here with that boy going right around the outside. If he can make this stick, which it looks like he is, he's going to have the inside running of turn 7. And it's just getting a little bit feisty here in the back here with the bloody 9, trying to get his nose down here into the G-Dude's eager beaver.
And he's got the advantage of the inside line. He'll get the better drive coming out of turn 8.
As he drives the eager beaver to its limits in this full Brazilian. And look at Travis Moan, the aliens, trying to fight into this battle as well.
If he gets close enough, he'll take advantage of the slipstream coming down onto the start-finish line out of turn 11. Oh,
as out
very
goes wide. As I think I wasn't Max Power, actually it was. Gunner. So Gunner's pushing too hard as Scar's still got the lead of this race over Esky Man and Brad Luck. Oh, there's a big moment here in the background. If I can try and pick it up, it is the bloody 9. He was getting too eager with the beaver, and he has spun it into turn 1. As the G-Dude gets away with that, still in position 15. Dat Boy now is the one in the lucky 13.
And he's gunning onto the back of Mark 860, and they're just behind Petey. Very close pack here with the Gambit holding these guys up at the moment. Viperion also sitting on the front of that pack, all closely together. But looks like Scar has managed to find a little half a second margin now to jump away from Esky Man. And Kiz and Bradluck are probably battling each other, which is giving Esky Man a little bit of a breather. But we'll stay with this pack at the moment because these guys are nose to tail. And they'll all be looking for a handful of points at the end of this one to try and boost themselves up. Oh, as we see Petey go wide there.
Holds on to it, but loses all these positions as these guys go on down the inside here, holding the inside line on entry into turn 1.
And Travis Moan has the advantage there. He'll have the line to turn in. Oh, there's a big moment back. Mark 860 into the back of... Was it into the back of Gambit? Yeah.
So we've got Gambit and Dat Boy in the All Carnival cars. Still can't separate these two cars. They're all ready for the street party after this race.
And then don't count out Dat Boy and Mark 860 sitting off the back of these two. As we can see, there's been a little bit of a push me, shove you moment. They are letting them know they're there.
They sure are, and we've only got 30 seconds remaining before there'll be no more safety car periods as G-Dude has a look down the inside, as does Petey.
They are not leaving anything to chance here. These guys are nose to tail, trying to get the maximum amount of traction through here to suck up into the back of these under the wing to get the full advantage of the draft. And I think we will be seeing that Petey is going to take advantage here and come up the inside of the Eager Beaver. And there's a number of drivers all managing to take advantage of the slipstream here.
As he goes back on the outside, but it's a big battle also back here between Smithy, Mac Attack, Bales. It's almost like the toucan livery for Mac Attack. That's not a bad livery either. Very carnival looking. But up front, we're going to have to go and visit up front because it's actually hotting up here. Only 0.3 of a second separating as these guys arguing positions 21st to 20th as Mac Attack actually gets up into, stays into 21st here as Truey. Now defending this position from Gunner, who's down the inside. to turn 7. Just as we want to get moving, the battles just keep coming, Tim. It's a great race.
It's been absolutely outstanding, the quality of the driving, and we have battles going right through the field, as we saw there, right down to the 20th position, all battling it hard. But again, I'm shocked looking back at this view, the amount of lumps and bumps the guys are challenged with here coming into that braking zone.
So Esky Man came into this round here at Curitiba in 9th position on 37 points with Brett on 59. So he's in a very good position here at this stage, but Brett S is in 4th position. So he started in 10th in this race as he took out race 1, as Esky just finds the outside, but manages to hold on to it.
Scar is looking a little compromised here. He's done commandingly to hold the lead of this race for the last 5 or 6 laps, but it now looks like he is going to start dropping a few positions if he's not careful. He needs to get his head back into this and tuck into the behind of Esky, or he's going to find that Brad Luck and Brad S will swallow him up coming down the start-finish line. I think Esky had the better drive through there, that inside line. And Scar's been compromised with his run around the outside.
Oh, look, there's been a problem here with Esky Man.
I think Esky Man's dropped a gear.
Yeah, he either missed a gear or something there, but he's dropped from 1st all the way maybe to 4th position. As Scar, look at Scar go over the curbs. That's all happening here. Brett's just trying to make sure he doesn't get cleaned out here, because this could be very costly late in the race here. We've only got a few more laps remaining. But Esky Man wants his
back up the inside.
3 wide up into turn 4, Tim. How's that for a Monday night?
Absolutely outstanding. And as we made comment at the start of the stream, these cars are a manual clutch, manual gear shift car. And I would estimate that he has missed the change between 4th and 5th gear down the straight, which did cost him the entry into turn 1, but he has capitalised on that now and managed to get back into the lead of this race. But Scar has some massive heat on the back of him, with Brad Luck and Brett S clambering now to try and find advantage. And again, we're going to find this race down onto the start-finish line.
So just remember, guys, we're going to have 2 more laps. It's this lap and plus 1 more lap. So there's 1 extra lap after the timer runs out. So it will run out on this lap, the timer. So they'll have 1 more lap. So race is still on as Brad Luck's having a good look down the inside of Scar. Esky's going to make sure he gets it into top gear this time around.
And I think Brad Luck has got the job done. He's certainly got the advantage of the inside line here, and that will compromise Scar, and Scar will drop 2 positions as Brett S sneaks up the inside.
Yeah, look at Kiz looking for a bit of the action as well.
Yeah, but he'll have to run down this little short straight, and the advantage of being on the inside. But Scar may hold on to that position. No, yes.
Yep, hold on, Kiz is still in 5th position. But the pressure now is mounting with Brad Luck, trying to see if he can get this win, but he's also got Brett. They all know how fast Brett has been in this series and every other series here at Gravel Trap Legends.
Time is running out and the margins are not quite close enough. I don't think they're going to be able to get an advantage on the slipstream. Brett very close now to the back of Brad Luck, but is he close enough to take advantage? They are all trying to tuck in behind each other here. And we still have 1 more lap.
Yeah, so this will be the final lap now, and the big person that's dropped a whole places is Petey. He took this race at the start, is finishing 10th in race 1. He finds himself languishing all the way down in 13th position. But we'll keep our eyes on the lead of the race here. I'm sorry if there's other battles going on through the field, but this has been so intense for the lead of the race on this final lap.
We've got that little difficult braking section now coming into turn 7. The guys will want to get tight down into this and shut the door, get maximum traction coming out of turn 8. Now going to have to contest with a couple of back markers. Not quite what you want on the last race. We got someone parked out in the back on the grass.
Yeah, I think it was a back marker, but it also Brett got oh, what can I've lost my words
Brett
there.
S
But
has
Brett's
dropped
been
back
hampered.
to 6th.
Yeah, so he was actually in, I think, 3rd or 4th position, down into 6th position.
And Kiz has jumped up over Scar, so Kiz now sits into 3rd position as they come across the line, and we have Esky Man taking out race 2 for Gravel Trap Legends Formula Inter Series. Brad Luck takes our 2nd place with Kiz holding on to 3rd, and Scar rounding out our top 4 before Cuckoo comes over the line in front of Brett S. John Wade in 7th. Krista Razor coming around now for 8th position. And he holds on to 8th over Viperion, who rounds out our 9th position, and G-Dude should manage to hold on to 10th.
Yeah, what a classic race this was, as we got Max Power still coming through to finish this race in 23rd. In front of Gunner, who's had a rotten luck in this race, as did Norbs. Smithy got up near into the, I think he was running in 20th, maybe a little bit high, but dropped back down into 21st. And the race that Gunner would like to forget, down in 24th.
But there are still 4 more rounds of this series, so there's still plenty of points on the table for these guys as we quickly look through the list there. Esky Man taking out the race 2 with his best lap of a 127.3. And just looking at there, Brett S was the fastest car on track. He was managed to get down into the 126s, but compromised on that last lap to drop from 2nd all the way down to 6th position. Brad Luck taking out 2nd on the podium, and Kiz rounding out our top 3. As we quickly roll down through them, Neil, Scar, Cuckoo, Brett S, John Wade, Krista Razor, Viperion, G-Dude, Mark 860, Petey, The Gambit, Travis Moan, Dat Boy, Pixel Boy, Walker, Mac Attack, The Bloody Nine, Stu, Smithy, Bales, Max Power, Gunner, Norbs and Truey. 840, great to see all cars finishing the race here for race 2.
Yeah, it's been a sensational round here at Curitiba. And next week, obviously, we're at Jacarapakua Short, if I've got that pronunciation right. And we'll be looking forward to round 3 there. But Esky Man, can we get him in here for a little chat to find out exactly how his nerves were at the end of that race where he seemed to have missed a gear?
Yeah, let me just organise my screens here, Neil, and I'll drag him on down. I've just got to find the correct screen to flick us over to. And we'll see whether Esky Man is available for a chat. And I should be able to, they said, right click on him and... No, can't do that. Oh.
Just dropped him in here myself here. Hey, Esky Man, hopefully I didn't caught you out talking there to the rest of the grid there, but what a victory you had for race 2.
Yeah, thank you. That was quite the battle, wasn't it?
I tell you what, I think it was amazing to see you guys battle it out there the last few laps. And tell us, you had our hearts going. Did you miss a gear down the front straight there on the penultimate lap?
Yeah, I did. Going into 5th, I absolutely balls up the gear change, and I thought that was my race run, but managed to get a good run through the S's, and I don't know how, but popped out the front at turn 3. So that was good.
Yeah, nice run into turn 4. Took victory and never looked backwards from there on. But how did you find that run through the field earlier on in that race as well? I think you started in 4th position. And obviously, actually not in 4th position. You started all the way back down, I think, in 7th or something like that. 6th or 7th.
Yeah, it was 7th position. Yeah, no, that was heaps of fun. Look, these guys are absolutely amazing to race with. Everyone gives each other plenty of room, and you can go side by side and trust that you're not going to have an accident. So, yeah, it was just heaps of fun getting through the pack there.
Yeah, and that will do your championships a good favour, as you came into this championship for round 2 in 9th position. So you should see yourself with this victory climb up through the field, and also with that solid 4th position in race 1 as well.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good week. So bounced back a bit from last week, so that's good. Bring on next week.
Yeah, and that track's going to be a fairly challenging track, I would imagine, here, because it's even a challenge just to pronounce it at Jacarapagua. I think it is Jacarapagua short. So best of luck in your week of preparations for round 3 there.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll put you back to the chat.
Thanks, guys.
And there we have it, Neil. That is the final of round 2. That was some ultra exciting racing.
It sure was. It was a pleasure to call that race, because after the wet first opening round at Brasilia Full, I'm so glad that we had a nice clear skies and let all these boys really show what they're made of. And didn't we see some action right through the 2 races? It was amazing.
Absolutely, and as we just heard there from Eski, fantastic driving from all of the drivers there on the track to the side. Very, very testing conditions to go 2 and 3 wide through some of those corners. Most of the guys held on to it fantastically, giving each other racing room. Absolutely entertaining to watch these cars, and we still have 4 rounds to go, so a total of 8 more races. Can't wait.
Yes. I think that everyone will be enjoying the lead up to the last 4 races here, and they probably will want to see more races after the final one, because these cars look like they're so much fun.
Absolutely, but that ends our stream for this evening, guys. We would like to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all again next Monday night from 8 p.m.
Cheerio.